Two of these spirits, Shentu and Yulei, were sworn to defend any home that hung special posters on its front doors. They're known as the Guardian Brothers.
Hi, I'm Gary.
I'm Rachel.
And this is What Do We Know? Today we're at Harvey's, enjoying a burger, which we ate already. We're not going to munch that in front of you here. So this week was Rachel's pick.
And I picked The Guardian Brothers, which was originally named Little Door Gods.
So The Guardian Brothers is an animated film, and it's created originally in China and dubbed over in English. Anyway, the story is set in a modern city where ancient beliefs have been forgotten. They're not remembered anymore. The not-so-mythical characters in their beliefs, they are feeling a little bit left out. So one of them decides that they're going to create a little bit of chaos and change things up so that they can feel needed again by coming back and rescuing everybody. In the meantime, though, with all the chaos that ensues, they learn all kinds of other ways that they can help people and get to know people, and they actually start to feel needed again. It's a kind of a cute tale where this misguided concept that this one character has kind of leads them into some self-discovery, and ultimately it's got a happy ending. This movie is pretty good to watch with your families. There's not too much in it that's terrible for the kids. Maybe a little bit of weird motivation, the main character that the kids don't want to pick up on, but you know, they had friends that helped them. It was a good kind of coming of age story for Rain. She found her way and found her strength, holding on to tradition. Some of those things were all good. Holding on to tradition and yet at the same time, you know, moving forward and trying new things as well. Mm-hmm. We should warn you that in this video there will be spoilers. There will be pieces of the story that you might hear. So if that's okay with you, go ahead and watch it. If not, you should probably go watch the film first and then you can come back and watch the review.
This was a little bit more of a childish film compared to
not because you're the child and I'm the parent,
no,
right?
But I enjoy these kind of films over the one that we had previously reviewed.
So what makes you like this genre more?
I think I'm just more into the like mythical fantasy kind of childish tales.
I'm
like,
still a child at heart.
No, but I really enjoy like Disney princesses and like I went to go see Frozen 6 times in theaters. Well, it's funny though because I enjoy this genre, but I didn't necessarily enjoy this film.
No, really?
No. Did you like it?
I kind of liked it. Yeah, I mean it had its problems, of course, but I enjoyed the movie. When you look at the place where the soup shop is, where the main story kind of takes place, I mean, it almost could be anywhere. It could be a little Chinese soup shop somewhere in New York, right? Or it could be China, Shanghai. I mean, who knows? It really is kind of generic in that way.
Yeah.
And the characters, I didn't find them... They weren't specifically Chinese. I mean, the story is obviously Chinese. There's lots of Chinese things going on in there, but the characters themselves didn't specifically look Chinese. I could have thought it was anywhere.
Animated very Caucasian.
Yeah.
And I think I read somewhere too that somebody that was their big issue as well, was because they were like, this is supposed to be in China and yet the characters are like Caucasian with American accents.
And then they pick an all-white cast to do the voice acting. Yeah.
So,
okay.
Part of my issue is some of the actors. So they had a really good cast. However, it was set in China, and I find that especially with like animes and things, when they English dub things, some of the voices they give the characters are just like these are supposed to be Chinese people, and like there's this really American accent. It was just confusing to me because it was very American yet very Chinese.
Meryl Streep is the one who voices over the narration, and when she starts off at the beginning, you just get such a soothing voice and such a nice way of narrating, and it's not really dubbing over characters, so it really is like you're watching the movie, and it starts off really well, and then you kind of get into the dubbing and go, oh. Oh, it's funny though, you know, because I read a lot of reviews that complained about the dubbing, that it really didn't sync right, that it wasn't good. Yeah. But I actually didn't find it all that distracting. And maybe it was because I was pre-warned that it was dubbed, and when you know it's going to be dubbed, it's not.
I wasn't pre-warned, and I definitely, as soon as I started watching it, I had to look up. I was like, this had to be in a different language when it was like because I was like, there's no way that they could have been that bad at like syncing up the animated lips with like the voices.
I appreciated the dubbing, even though, I mean, lip syncs don't work and things like that when you dub like that. It was very good. And then you know, always the rhythm of the dialogue gets off a little bit because they try to match it up as well as they can, right?
Yeah.
So, you know, all of those are little problems you have with dubbing, but for the most part, they didn't bother me so much.
I appreciate the dubbing because if I'm watching a movie with subtitles, it's very difficult for me to read the subtitles and see the film and know what's going on at the same time.
Like, I think I would have found it much more distracting to have subtitles on there than have the dubbing. Even with the dubbing problems, I appreciated the dubbing much more than subtitles.
I mean, it's also controversial with animes, like people who are like, don't watch the dubbed version because the voices they give them are ridiculous. But I find that I can't understand the story without a dubbed version.
Well, I want to watch the movie, not the subtitles. And if there's subtitles there, I spend so much time reading the subtitles that I never actually see the movie, right? So, yeah, I appreciate when it's dubbed.
Yeah. I mean, it helps with your language skills to read the subtitles and hear the other language, but...
you don't hear your
I'm
brother...
trying to learn Chinese.
Your brother watches an awful lot of anime, right? You don't hear him speaking Japanese yet, so...
He's learned it. He's picked up a couple phrases, though. But personally, this is no offense to Bella Thorne, I don't think that she's a very good role model for kids who are necessarily watching this film, where she is the same age as me, and I am uncomfortable with some of the stuff that she's doing. Like, if she's comfortable with like her lifestyle and everything like that, that's fine, but I don't think that if she's going to be a role model for little children, she needs to be a little bit more aware that these kids are going to find her Instagram, are going to go and like look up what she's doing. And starting off as a Disney star, I mean, you can see the track record of a lot of Disney stars. Mm-hmm. Like, where they start off in Disney, super innocent, and then they
this is not a Disney movie, right?
No, but she did start off like with Shake It Up with Zendaya. That was my issue with like characters mainly, and because she has a very distinct older voice, it was very hard to see her as this little girl in this soup shop.
There were a lot of people who reviewed it said that they didn't like her voice for Rain, the character Rain.
Mom, I want to go back home. I don't like this place much anymore.
Rain, we just can't do that right now.
I wasn't that distracted by Rain's voice. I thought it fit okay. And again, I didn't know all the background. What do I know?
She didn't have very much to say in the film anyway. She didn't have that many lines. She was like a main character in the sense that like she was the one communicating with the Guardian brothers and trying to like help them out and stuff, but she didn't have that big of a role.
So, what did you think about the character Yuli? I mean, to me, it seemed kind of odd at the beginning. Here's this guy saying, oh, well, you know, so that we can become needed again by the human race, I'm going to release the worst person ever, the Nian, right? They're going to release this terrible, awful demon that took so much trouble.
Together.
Yeah, so they can bring them all back together again.
That's it, Shentu. We should release the Nian.
I mean, I guess it's sort of a concept.
It's like 0 to 100.
But yeah, it just seems way overboard, right?
Like, he was like, we're not needed anymore. I'm just going to like destroy Earth so that we can be together again.
You'd think Yuli would kind of clue in, right? When there's other Guardians guarding the seals, right? Like they went through this giant thing to get rid of this Nian character in the beginning, and now he's going to let them free. Think about it, dude. You know?
And then it takes until the third seal that he goes and he's like, oh, what have I done? I shouldn't do this and all this stuff. And then
of course, by then it's too late.
Comes and he pulls the sword. He's like, I got your sword for you,
But I guess it was the plot mechanism that got things going, and that kind of worked. And then at the end, Shentu says,
"No, Yulei, it's not your fault. It was the Nian. He controlled you from the start."
I mean, what's with that? Right? That seems like a
weird,
huge
like,
excuse. The devil made me do it. Like you don't create major chaos just so that you can set it right again. That's just not a good plan, right?
There you go, kids.
Yeah, maybe that's the moral of the story. But it did kind of end up with a happy ending. Everybody was good. There was Chinese New Year, lots of fireworks and good stuff happening and fun, right?
So one other nitpicky thing about it was that this big smoke monster that's coming in and taking over Earth is afraid of
fire.
fireworks. And that's all they needed to do to get rid of it was just fireworks.
That probably lost something culturally too, right? Like
This monster that in the past has like terrorized them, and he's afraid of fireworks.
I feel like too, if you understand Chinese culture, you probably would understand some of the things in the movie better than you do, with our Americanized kind of culture. Things like the Chinese New Year, it would have, if you have the history, you have the knowledge of all of what's going on there, then it might have meant more to you what was going on with the fireworks at the end, chasing away the Nian character and things like that. But what do I know about Chinese culture, right?
It was really creepy that puppet master at the end who was like, we've been watching you, and we've been and all the statues portraying everything he's been doing along this journey and stuff.
So was it a story within a story? Oh,
yeah, I think
maybe
that was
I didn't think of that.
We need to also say that this film was originally 103 minutes to 107 minutes, depending on your source. But they actually, the Weinstein Company, cut it down to 83 minutes. So they basically took the original film and just chopped pieces out of it. So we might have missed some things. It depends on who you're asking, because some people find that it was necessary. I found it funny that these are supposed to be super hidden seals and things that nobody's supposed to find and all these things, and then Yuli goes and he finds them with such ease. He goes and he's just there.
And then the other guardians are guarding the seals.
They're guarding the seals, and then the first guardian he meets is just tell them that I put up a fight, but here you go, you can go and break the seal that I'm supposed to be protecting.
The animation was pretty good in the movie. I felt it a little more video game-ish than nice, fun movie kind of animation, but that's okay. I mean, it was still very good animation.
Yeah. I think I would probably give it a 4 Harvey's French fries, because although everybody says that some kids might be scared by it and things, I think it's a good children's movie for morals and motivations and seeing how your actions have consequences. But also, I don't find it as scary as everybody said that it might be. I found The Little Mermaid to be more scary with Ursula, that last scene where Ursula gets stabbed by this big wooden post. That was more scary to me than this big fog monster afraid of fireworks.
Well, I'm going to give this 7 Harvey's French fries out of 10, I think, because the animation was good. I think the story was good. It probably lost something in the translation to the English, but I think overall it still carried most of that forward, and it still worked for me. Because it's a kids' movie, I will give it a lot more latitude when it comes to the actual storyline and things like that. The motivation of the main character was a little off. But I'll let them have that too. Maybe I lost a little of translation. Maybe I'm just allowing too much. But yeah, I'll stick with my 7 out of 10 French fries.
Wow.